Let's check out the teams for you. Paris promote 16-year-old keeper Martin James to the starting lineup. His first appearance in the UEFA Youth League. Vanquer Dionu Nzinga and Oumar Kamara return to the opening 11. Ibrahim Mbaye retains his place. The teenager has featured in 5 first-team games this season for Luis Enrique, starting in the 4-1 win at Le Havre. Atlético won their domestic title last year at under-19 level. This is how they line up for this fixture. 2 changes from their side from the last outing in the UEFA Youth League. David Atza and Julio Diaz come in, with Atza making his first start, and Diaz, who was part of the Spain under-19 squad that won the European Championship in the summer, beating France 2-0 in the final, returning to the starting lineup. In particular, have been good in this competition over the last decade. Unlucky not to make the final against Salzburg a few years ago, and they've been to the quarterfinals previously as well. Paris Saint-Germain, having made the finals best part of a decade ago, beaten by Chelsea in the final, have fallen short recently. Underway then at PSG campus. Paris Saint-Germain in familiar dark blue with red trim, attacking the goal away to our right. Atleti in an aqua number, and they will look to pick up just their second win of the UEFA Youth League campaign. And you would suggest that despite the fact that they are away from home, they may well be favourites to pick up the 3 points here. Their campaign so far has been okay. They beat Leipzig by 4-0 at home, and then a couple of draws, so still unbeaten. They were held by Benfica and then Lille last time out. Can they pick up a win away from here, away from home? They've got a terrific record away from home as well in the UEFA Youth League. They've won 10 of their last 13 on their travels, including a penalty shootout success. Last defeat on the road was in the playoffs last season when they were beaten by AZ, which of course knocked them out of the competition, that in the playoff round. Only 4 defeats in their last 14. They've drawn their last 2, both home and away. But their form generally has been good outside of Spain. Let's see what they can conjure against the Paris Saint-Germain side that certainly have got some talented performers. We mentioned in the team read that in Ibrahim Mbaye, a player that has played for the first team this season, started a fixture as well, started the matchday 1 game against Le Havre, a game that Paris Saint-Germain won by 4-1. Wasn't as straightforward as that scoreline suggested. Ball has been given away. Be interesting to see just how he gets on. Here he is, Mbaye for Paris Saint-Germain. Good strike, fine save from Diaz. Really good hit. Diego Diaz, just his second appearance in the competition, making the save. Gets the right arm up really well. Coaches of Paris Saint-Germain, Thomas Lassalle and David Suarez. Has been the regular for the under-19 side domestically, Diego Diaz, this season. 3 clean sheets as well. This is tight though, as they look to try and play it out of their own penalty area. They've just about done it. This is Belid, and they've played through the press, and Paris Saint-Germain defenders are going to have to try and scamper back now. Might just need a second here. Good running on the right-hand side from Atza. Back in the starting lineup here. Having missed out previously, and just got a whack in the face as he tried to make a bit of progress on the right flank. Spanish under-17 international, who's been playing for the under-19s for his club side this season. started the season pretty well, Atletico Madrid, but not quite as well as their better rivals Real Madrid. It is very tight in Group 5 of their regional domestic division. Atleti have won 8 of 9, 1 drawn fixture, 27 goals scored, but they still sit second behind Real Madrid, just 2 points behind their city rivals. They drew their first game of the season against Raja Majadahonda, but since then they won 8 on the spin, including last time out against Getafe. Unbeaten in 29, as we look at Luis Bueno, who took over from Fernando Torres as coach of the under-19s. He was part of the under-18 setup prior to that. He's worked at Malaga and also Granada previously. Now taking charge of the 19s at European level for Atleti. But their domestic form has been excellent, and they are unbeaten, of course, this season in the UEFA Youth League. Ball bounces out towards Julio Diaz. Now it's with Fernandez Torres. And eventually fed back for Perez. And now to the near side and Pan. Drilled back for Martin James, who's just 16, making his debut in the competition. The keeper taking over from Bilal Laurendon. Bully. And Bay. Plenty of encouragement from the sidelines for the Paris Saint-Germain players. This is Dinu and Zinga. A little bit of space for Sangare, edge of the penalty area, but the cross isn't forthcoming. It's worked back towards Courrier. El Hanash looking for tap. In fact, it's gone long to this near side, and Bolly, who will knock it forward. Might get a second opportunity as well here, and does. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, the way that they've got about their business in the opening 5 minutes here, why they are yet to pick up a victory in this season's UEFA Youth League. They lost their opener against Girona, going down 2-0 at home before losing to Arsenal away from home. And then they drew with PSV 3-3 in their last game. They were 1-0 down and 2-1 down in that fixture, but did lead 3-2. They conceded 11 minutes from time. Here is Bolly, curled in towards the far post. It's not a bad ball in as well. Comfortable take, though, from Diaz. High hanging ball inside the penalty area. Cuffy took the header on, but it was always comfortable for Diaz to make the claim, make the save. Pan for Perez. Right-hand side is Atza. Fernandez Torres is the holding midfielder. You'll see him, the number 22. Right winger is Huesco. Can play further back. Versatile as many are at this age. Diaby. This is Bolly. And Bay. Tracked by Munoz. One back by Atleti. Beled. This is Munoz. Jenna waits on the penalty spot here. Atleti getting players in good positions. Julio Diaz. Pan. This is Perez. Fernandez Torres. Perez once again. Atza over on the right-hand side. Munoz back in the left-back position. We'll see Munoz and Julio Diaz switch quite a lot. Munoz does like to get forward. We've seen that. Another player that was part of the Spanish under-19 side that won the European Championship in the summer. They beat France 2-0 in the final. And already a couple of goals from left-back domestically this season for Munoz. He's yet to score in the UEFA Youth League. Martin James to clear. And Bay lets it bounce. That's clever. Sangare calling for it. Needs to play it first time. He does. It's Sangare. Can he round the keeper? Was there a foul? The referee says no. Well, I think that Sangare's got to do better from that sort of position. Mali-born striker. He was in acres of space. The first touch isn't good enough. And the 17-year-old tried to take it around Diego Diaz, but was unable to do so. Sangare, who scored against PSV. Just 1 goal last season in this competition. That came against Newcastle in a 2-1 home reverse back in November. French under-17 international who's managed just the 1 goal so far domestically for Paris Saint-Germain. They have started pretty strongly in Group A of their regional league. They've won 8 of 10, 2 draws, unbeaten, 20 goals scored, 2 points clear of Racing. Top 2 make the playoffs, incidentally, something that they did last season. Going on to beat Lyon in the quarter-final, then Marseille in the semi-final before defeating Auxerre 3-1 in the final to win the title for the first time since 2016. The senior side seemed to win in Liga every single season, not quite as comfortable or as regular for the junior team. Knocked out of the Coupe Gambardella by bitter rivals Marseille, incidentally, in the round of 32 on penalties on a 1-1 draw. It's the junior cup competition domestically, the Copa del Rey Juvenil in Spain. Atleti lost out to Levante 3-0 in the round of 16. This is Mbaye. Sangari wants it in the penalty area. 4 in PSG blue waiting for the delivery. Mbaye will cross. It's a really good clearance, good delivery. Headed back towards the 6-yard area by Kafi, and a collection from Diaz. Really good tempo to the opening 10 minutes. This is Perez. Bennett. Quick once again to try and release Julio Diaz on this left-hand side. Janet calling for it, edge of the area. This is Bellied once again. Left-footed strike just wide of the target. Good hit. He looks a very, very good footballer. Ryan Bellied, 19, couple of goals so far this season in the UEFA Youth League. Scored against Benfica and Leipzig 4 last campaign. He's been on the bench in La Liga matchday squads last season. He's been up to the Atletico second team this term. And another part of that very good Spanish under-19 side that won the European Championship in the summer. It's a good group that Atleti seemingly have. Always difficult to know how they are going to progress. Long punt forward. Diaz watches it. He's outside of his penalty area with a clearance. Oh, clever for Julio Diaz. Can he get there first? Challenge not quite good enough to win it. Diaz gets the cross in. Jana with a header. Got underneath it. The acrobatic clearance from Diaby. Only as far as Munoz. Now it's Julio Diaz. Delivers the ball towards the far post, and Jana, who will try and flick it on. Well, you do get the sense that both of these two teams, and maybe Paris Saint-Germain in particular, know that time is running out. Only 6 group phase games, league phase games, rather than the 8 that the senior team has. When you've only picked up 1 point from opening 3, you suddenly need to start winning games sooner rather than later, or you're going to be outside of the top 22. Diaz. This is Pan. Perez. Julio Diaz. Munoz. Perez. Here comes the press. Fernandez Torres just rolls it back. Perez has it once again. Atleti finished second in the group last season, behind final, qualified for the playoffs, ran into a very good AZ side. Top of their section the year before that. They won 5 of their 6 group games, but they ran into a good Milan side in the quarterfinals to lose out 2-0. Semi-final defeat to Salzburg prior to that. Knocked out in the round of 16 by Ajax on penalties. Delving further back into the archive. Good looking ball forwards here, but you know, the flag was always going to go up, I think. Benedu's racing through the centre. Paris Saint-Germain, who have been beaten by Dortmund in the round of 16 and Salzburg in the quarter-finals in recent campaigns. But also failed to make it out of the group stages on the odd occasion as well. Camara. Jinks in field, still has possession, looks for the reverse ball inside the penalty area, it's cleared away. Diaby's touch. This is Courrier. Ball over the top, looking for Camara. Courrier plays it forward again, that's better. Whipped in towards Mbaye. Sangari underneath it. That's going to be a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain. It might even be a yellow card as well here. It's certainly going to be a warning to the Atleti player. Was it Munoz or Diaz that just ran into Sangari? It's Munoz, or rather Julio Diaz. It doesn't make any sort of attempt to play the ball. Thomas Lascelles, who took over with David Suarez in the summer. Lascelles was the under-17 coach. Suarez came from Clermont-Bie.
Le goal, ouais. Le keeper, c'est le gardien.
Diego Diaz waits, just organises his wall as the Paris Saint-Germain players look to find a way through. He fancies taking this one on. And Ziga has moved away. Sangare wants it, Diaby is there. Kafi has been told to move away. Is it going to be Sangare to the right? And it comes, oh, wonderfully taken! That's how you strike a football. Sangare, who was brought down for the free kick, manages to thump it beyond Diaz. Mahamadou Sangare with his second of the season, third in the UEFA Youth League all told. And this was beautifully struck around the wall, evading the keeper. Just look at the curl he gets on that, that's brilliant. Super strike. So Atleti find themselves a goal down. Paris Saint-Germain lead, courtesy of the free kick from Mahamadou Sangare, wonderfully taken. Brilliant technique, started it wide outside the right-hand post of Diego Diaz's goal, and enough bend and curl to whip it back and just inside the post to find the net. And Atleti find themselves a goal down. Pan for Perez, turns away from Cafe, and looks for the big diagonal to the right-hand side in Huesco. Let's loses out. Chance for Paris to break. Canada not quite strong enough to keep the move alive. Just look at the pressing, and Bay still going, looking for the cut back here. No one on the edge of the penalty area. Well, it's wide open the opening 19 minutes. That's a decent flick as Perret looks to continue his run, and still going. Can't quite get on the end on it. Sangare. Oh, wonderful turn against Fernandez Torres. Diaby. This is Kafi. Camara left-hand side, and Bay on the right. Sangare looking to get inside the penalty area. Here comes the delivery again, but Diego Diaz is there to collect at the near post. Well, there's no doubt that Paris Saint-Germain are dominating this fixture. Heading into the day, Atleti in 21st position. Paris Saint-Germain 32nd. Top 22, reminder, go through. Top 6 paired with the bottom 6 of those that do qualify, and then the middle 6 taking on teams that qualify via the domestic champions path. Extra round to navigate for the teams involved in that. Janet. Some good academies as well in the domestic champions path, incidentally, including Manchester United, who won the Academy League in England. Boli. Martin James. Boli again to play it down the line, and bite. Boli, that's a good flick and good pace as well. And Paris will come forward once more. Sangare wants it through the centre. Boli with a determined run, and by it, this is Sangare who misses it. It's come back out towards Kafi. Should have been another pass, not quite good enough to find a teammate. Courrier. Diaby. This is Tap. Zinga. Boli. And Zinga again. Turns into trouble. Atleti can't quite win it back. Dino and Zinga does well, shows real strength. Camera forward, arms go up. Flag doesn't follow for now. Kafi will get the cross in, but it's overcooked. Powerful run on the right-hand side now from Huesco. Stopped by Courrier. Tries to keep the move alive, but he loses possession and then gets frustrated. Courtier wins it back. Diaby. It's just overhit. Bully this time trying to play and buy in. Have scored in 9 of their last 11 away games. Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Youth League. Haven't managed a clean sheet now in their last 3, after 3 on the spin, and it's now 6 in their last 13, so not quite as tight at the back as they have been previously. 4 defeats in the last 14, home and away in this competition. They've drawn their last 2 after failing to draw any of the previous 19. But he just gets the wrong side, should be cleared away, and is. Last win at home for Paris Saint-Germain came against Milan in the group stages last season. Was over a year ago. 3 wins in their last 9 here, 5 defeats in that sequence. Have conceded 2 or more in each of their last 3 at home. That has got to be a little bit of a concern, and it might be one of the reasons why this man Martin James has been promoted as starting keeper today. Mbaye shows pace, and that's a really good first touch. This is Mbaye still going forward, wanted to come back in on his right side. Credit Munoz for sticking to his task there, not easy. Did everything right, didn't he? Mbaye looks a real player. No real surprise that he has played for the first team. Wasn't involved at the weekend. Paris Saint-Germain, of course, sitting pretty at the top of Ligue 1, so there's an opportunity certainly for Luis Enrique to rotate his squads. Ibrahim Mbaye, more often than not, is a late substitute to come on. Racked up just 87 minutes across those 5 appearances. Zinga does well to intercept, but this is Jana now for Atleti, and still coming. Oh, surely he's got to go himself, and he's been in such good goal-scoring form. It's a real surprise that he didn't. Tap for El Hanash. Mbaye, body to his right, and Zinga. Miscontrol from Diaby, and we don't see that too often, and it's allowed Huesca to come forward here for Atletico Madrid. The referee lets that, well, thought about letting it go and then doesn't. Courtier, the perpetrator, well, got something of the ball, but he sort of played through the winger to get something on it. Ever present so far this season, Thomas Courtier. He did score against Newcastle, the only goal of the game when they beat the English academy side 1-0 away from home back in October of last year. Made his debut in this competition the previous campaign. Castillo. Munoz. Here's Castillo again. Atleti just forcing Paris Saint-Germain back into their defensive third at the moment. Slightly more forceful play from the Spanish champions. Oh, one back. Referee lets it go. Janet, he can't get there first time around. The shot from Pelé. It's a really good block from Courtier. Janet. Oh, was he caught there? Referee took a look at that. If he goes down a bit quicker, I think he gets the free kick. Breakaways on for Paris Saint-Germain. This is Sangare looking to run at Munoz. One way, then the other. Mbaye tries to come in from left to right, but unable to pick up the pass. Cleared, but intercepted. This is David Bolly. He's only 15, incidentally. Mbaye. Sangare. Oh, they're playing with a bit of a swagger, aren't they, Paris Saint-Germain at the moment? A goal to the good. Nzinga. Mbaye. Sangare calling for it. This is Sangare! Cut miss. Brilliant break once again on the right-hand side. Mbaye race free. Sangare all alone, just steered beyond Diaz. Not quite as spectacular as his first, but suddenly he's on a hat-trick. Inch perfect ball, didn't have to break stride, just opened up his body, left-footed beyond Diaz. Classy assist and a confident finish. Makes you wonder how they haven't won a game so far. Minutes in, Paris Saint-Germain putting a very good Atleti side to the sword. Pelé. Looks for Janet. Layoff not quite good enough. Courtier. Nzinga. Body lets the challenge come in from Diaz. Body. Mbaye. Sangare. Diaby, highest line for Atleti here. That could spell danger for them. Sangare had made a dart towards it. It's gone back though. Courtier. Kamara further forward. This is Kafi. Nzinga. Bolly. Nzinga again. Dominating possession at the moment, Paris Saint-Germain. Kafi then loses out. Janet is on the move on the right-hand side, but won't get there. El Hanash coming across to find Matan James. Blade helps it on. Julio Diaz. Clever. This is Munoz to play it back. Had to play it to the 6-yard box rather than back towards the edge of the penalty area. And suddenly the counter is on again. Sangare. Mbaye calling for it. Sangare for the hat-trick. Can he finish? Still going. Brought down. Penalty. Well, it was a long bursting run. A power-packed push forward from Sangare. He saw Mbaye to his left and thought, well, we're 2-0 up, and I'm going to take this myself for the hat-trick. He was brought down by Diaz, and a penalty which I can only presume he was going to take. It's going to be a yellow card here. Yellow card. card for something that happened earlier on in the move. Adsa goes into the book. Bottom line, penalty for Diego Diaz to face. Let's have a look at this. Just takes it around the keeper. Yeah, penalty all day long. Bayer was calling for it, and his teammate thought that he'd run into trouble, but he has won the penalty. He's got to convert it, though, for the hat-trick for 3-0 inside the opening 35 minutes. Paris Saint-Germain lead Atleti by 3 goals. Oh, he's playing with real confidence and flair at the moment. Mahamadou Sankharé has a quick-fire treble. Atleti are stunned, and Paris Saint-Germain, even at this early stage, you would have thought on course for their first UEFA Youth League win of the campaign.
Le Paris Saint-Germain qui mène maintenant 3-0.
Oh, it's going to be a penalty. And really nicely dispatched. We restart again at the PSG campus. Atleti are being schooled. Paris Saint-Germain hungry for more. Oh, Diaz has got a yellow card there. Now, we initially thought it might be for Atsa. There's the player that has been carded. But we did see a yellow card come out previously, so... well, that's something to be cleared up post-match, potentially, and hopefully doesn't give us too much trouble during the game. Just Diaz down at the moment for that caution. Clever flick by Julio Diaz. And Bayer once again with his skills. There's confirmation of the Arza yellow card, as we thought, so 2 bookings. Oh, Sankharé's at it again, isn't he? Perez, Pan. Munoz left-hand side. What a slow start to the UEFA Youth League for Paris Saint-Germain this season, but they have burst into life with this fixture. You wonder how often Mbaye will be allowed to play in this competition, because Luis Enrique might want to use him a little more regularly for the first team. Looks capable, doesn't he? Huesco, clever, and the turn, and still going. And Gianni! Wonderful block. That would have given Atleti hope. Still on the attack here. Munoz for Julio Diaz. This is Castillo. UEFA Youth League is infamous for swings such as this. You get one team on top, virtually look like they can't possibly lose games, then suddenly you get miraculous turnarounds. Things can change quickly in the blink of an eye. Corner here. That's the block. In swinger, the order of the day here towards that near post area. Jana with a flick. I think that's gone out for another corner. Brilliant delivery from the right-hand side. That's not going to take the corner kick. Let's take a look at this again. Jana's header just seemed to bounce off a Paris Saint-Germain thigh or chest. Corner's been mixed up, taken short, and then Julio Diaz, rattles it across the 6-yard box after a brilliantly worked corner. Perez closer, or closest to converting. Does he get the touch on this? He does. No, that has to be a goal. Some big chances here for Atleti at the end of this first half. Pan with a header. Zinger in the way. Castillo. Julio Diaz. Paredes. Didn't get the contact. Perez. Well, Atleti wanted to take that quickly. Jana was in a really good position, but there was no one inside the penalty area. This still might work out for Atleti here. That's awaits again, and this time we'll have to play it back. Now it's with Perez. This is Pan. Munoz is ignored. It's towards Julio Diaz, but it's easily picked off by Bolly, and Bai doesn't get lucky on that occasion. Fernandez Torres does well, then he's a little short, and Sangari and Diaby between them. Diaby coming forward, stopped by Perez. Crucial challenge. Bellet. The referee lets another thing go. Thought that might be a free kick here, but Mbaye once again so dangerous on this right-hand side. Diaby. Mbaye. Ibrahim Mbaye again. Martin James, Diaby. James once more. Straight to Castillo. Back here for Munoz. Can he pull the trigger? Julio Diaz coming forward. Oh, needed to do better. Well, they've had chances, Atleti. Haven't taken them. Had some big chances, but they find themselves 3-0 down. Seconds remaining here of this first half.
2 minutes.
Well, I'm sure that the team talk will be difficult for the Atleti players and Luis Bueno, but surely he will sense that, look, we can score here. Nash coming forwards. This is Mbaye again. Must be another in his, and Kamara helps himself at close range. Atleti have been torn apart once more. Paris Saint-Germain lead by 4-0.
Quatrième but parisien, inscrit par le numéro 11, Camara. Le Paris Saint-Germain qui mène maintenant 4-0.
In added on time, Atletico flat-footed, caught too high, and punished once again. Ibrahim Mbaye once again with the assist. Done everything bar score. Kamara, who hasn't had as much of the ball on the left-hand side because Mbaye has demanded it so much, and he's probably the best player on the pitch. But he's the recipient of an inch-perfect cross once again to tap home into an unguarded net. Makes it look easy. That's the half, and what a half from Paris Saint-Germain, and in particular Mahamadou Sangare with a treble here for the Parisians. First a free kick, second a tap in from close range, the third a penalty. Kamara added a fourth in added on time, and Paris Saint-Germain without a win so far in the UEFA Youth League this season. Well, surely they're going to get it here. Atleti have been swept aside. Half-time, Paris 4, Atleti 0. We shall see how they line up, but the players that have come on are Gabriel Castrell Suarez, Jorge Rajado, and finally Oscar Torres. Underway for the second half. Paris lead Atleti by 4-0. Confirmation of the changes. Be interesting to see how that manifests itself. Looks like Huesco's going to go back to right back, which we have seen him play this season. And here come Atleti on the attack from the get-go. can see Huesco on this right-hand side. He's going to play right back. So the alteration will be further forward in terms of that attacking switch. Castillo. This is Pan from Torres, who is going to play at the back. Julio Diaz is going to play left back. Potentially the player who's going to play over on the left-hand side is going to be Gabriel Castrell Suarez. So those are the changes. And those are the personnel changes as well. Fine stop from James. First time called into action. The cross from that left-hand side as well, and then the shot was parried and the follow-up was blocked. Jana should have done better. But a positive start, certainly, from an Atleti point of view. Castillo. Well, it'd be a comeback for the ages if they got anything from this game, but don't rule it out. Opening 2 minutes, they've been very much on the front foot. Gabriel Suarez, left-hand side. Cleverly done by Torres. Oh, the flick is really neat. Atleti coming forward here. Jana is calling for it. He's not going to get it. Well, it's good positivity from Atleti, but that was a touch greedy. Shot that flew over. Okay, Rajado. Really good pressing, they've given the ball away. Space on the left-hand side for Rajado. First time ball for Julio Diaz, looking to pull it back and take it down. And they're claiming handball, the referee doesn't give it. Jana was in a really good position, he was ignored. Oh, wonderful strike though, and Atleti have got one back. Jana wants PSG to start quickly, and it was that struck it. Well, is there a spectacular comeback on here? First goal in the UEFA Youth League from Pablo Pan. Wonderfully struck from the centre half. Atleti players were a little aggrieved that they didn't get a penalty. Well, it doesn't matter now. Just look at the way they're going about Paris Saint-Germain here. It's a really good run inside the area from Rajada. And eventually, Matan James pounces. Diaby. Paris Saint-Germain just need to settle down here. They've lost possession again. This is Beled. Rajado looking to curl one. Well, twice he's had opportunities, twice he's taken shots from outside the penalty area, and there were better options. Well, the substitutions have made an immediate impact in terms of pressing and the positions that they've taken up. But in terms of shooting, they've blazed opportunities well over. Suddenly, Paris Saint-Germain, even though they are 4-1 up, look a little bit nervous at the back. Matan James goes long. Header won by Torres. And Zinga. It's a little loose. And it's Atleti that have it again. And here is Rajado. Castillo. Beled. Clever to the left-hand side again. Julio Diaz. Cleared away to the edge of the penalty area. Bounces towards Fernandez Torres. Doesn't fall for an Atleti player inside the Paris Saint-Germain penalty area. And this is always the issue because PSG are so quick on the break. Sangare's chasing this one down. Diaz outside of his penalty area to clear. Nzinga. Diaby. Nzinga again. And Bay right-hand side. Inside the full-back, the ball was intended to go, but it's blocked. Fernandez Torres. Hope here for Luis Bueno's side. They have not thrown the towel into their credit. And here is Castillo coming forward again. Rajado. Gabriel Suarez wanted it. Referee's just going to hold play. Is he here? No, it's gone back towards the halfway line. Bele. Just the start that Atleti wanted. Janet is free and he can take it down. It's as if the strikers want to do a bit too much, really. Sangare on the half turn. One back by Pan. Free kick. El Hanash looking to slow things down a little bit here. We've not seen too much of him in this fixture. We haven't needed to because he's not really had to defend too much. Camara. Ball ricochets off Cordier. Westcott took the throw. Oh, it's been given away, and a chance here for a fifth for Paris Saint-Germain. Around the keeper, brilliant stop. Sangare denied. Keeps the move alive, though, does the striker. Paris Saint-Germain still have possession. Forward by Courrier. Boli. Referee lets that one go. Boli goes down, and he's suddenly out of position. The ladies through the centre just won't stretch to the number 7. Courrier. They just weathered this early squall from Atleti in the opening 9 minutes. They've scored once and had chances to score more, but haven't taken them. Paris Saint-Germain have regrouped. Missed the opportunity to grab that fifth. Seems ridiculous to say, well, they're going to rue that. I doubt it. This is Mbaye. Kamara inside the penalty area. Ibrahim Mbaye with the strike. Diaby. Cordier just gets away from the left back. He's done well to keep it in. Kamara. Sangare will play it back. This is El Hanash. Tough games to finish their league phase. Half a dozen for Paris Saint-Germain. They take on Bayern Munich away from home and then Salzburg on their travels as well. Not easy. So a win here imperative. 4-1, but holding on in a weird way. They will not jump ahead of Atleti here, so it all depends on the other games as to where exactly they'll be in the extended table. Atleti's next game's Sparta Prague away on match day 5, and then Slovan Bratislava at home in early December. There's a shot from Janet. It's another chance. So slightly easier programme for Atleti. Another well-worked opportunity. Took the shot on early, plenty of power, no real precision. Atleti with 12 goal attempts, only 2 on target, but have been much better since the restart. Omar Jani again, cuts it back on his left side. It's a throw. 7 attempts in this second half. It's only 12 minutes old from Atleti. Incredible stats post-break. Whatever Luis Bueno said. And it's worked. But they need another fairly swiftly if they're going to feel confident of turning a 4-1 scoreline around. Castillo. Most of those Paris Saint-Germain shots in the first half, incidentally. High ball towards Ballet, who will keep it in play at least, but Jana can't make it his. This is Kafi with a step over. Jana manages to win it back. Really confident play, then he loses out. Camara. Kafi to turn, loses possession. Now it's with Huesco. Given away again, Belade. It's out for a corner. Doing an awfully lot more defending in this second half. Thomas Cordier. Low delivery towards the near post, cleared away by Diaby. Huesco doesn't know where the ball is. Cordier will play it towards Mbaye. Good strong play. Well, that's gone against the Paris Saint-Germain winger. I didn't see too much wrong in that. Well, there's 1 or 2 players squaring up here. The referee is going to brandish a yellow card. I'm not quite sure who to. Might be a couple of players. But Lady's going to be booked. Camara as well for their part. And what was an incident that initially involved Huesco, I think there. That was the first challenge. And it's... yeah. If he just got caught on the back of the head, difficult to see. Certainly went down clutching his head, but he's okay to continue, thankfully. But he was sent off for the Spanish under-19 side in the European Championships in the summer. Was sent off in a group game against Denmark. Received 2 yellow cards in the space of 9 minutes. Spain won 2-1. Was back for the latter stages of the competition and did start in the final. And again, the players just testing the referee. Janet. Fajardo will lay it off. This is Julio Diaz. Neat control as well. Fajardo looks to clip it towards the back post. According to minds, I think that he's done all right since coming on. Jorge Fajardo. Bully. Julio Diaz looking to get it back. It's towards Jenner from Gabriel Castreo Suarez's ball. Bellet. Again, there's movement on the left-hand side here. That's good, neat, close control. The shot is blocked. Go back in towards Omar Janet. Just won't fall cleanly for an Atleti player inside the penalty area. Free kick, handball. Just wonder if the home side might be making a change here. Got a little bit of experience at this level, at least on the bench. Abdou Van Drame might be one to come on. Westcott looking to take on Kamara, wins a corner. Maybe not. Julio Diaz. Castillo. Bellet. Castillo again. Paris Saint-Germain just pushing up a little bit here. Layoff is good from Suarez. Strong challenge from Diaby, but it only wins the ball back temporarily. Whipped in towards Jana. Kamara. Positive run, then he's given it straight to Castillo, but after the ball had gone, he was brought down. That's a free kick. They've been their luck, certainly in this second half, Paris Saint-Germain. Atleti have been far the better side. Let's see what happens here. He just catches one in the stomach. Pan's goal gave Atleti a little bit of hope. Well struck effort. But although they've had one or two half chances since this strike, they haven't managed to add to their tally. Paris Saint-Germain have settled once more. Kamara back up on his feet, thankfully, but may well be one to switch out. Scorer of the fourth goal is Bueno His changes have worked really well. Courrier to clip forward. Sangare is onside. The flag has stayed down. Kafi calling for it as well. It's still Sangare. Now it's Kamara. Diaby. Just a little loose. He's given it away. Omar Jana has Beled on the right-hand side. Jana has raced towards the penalty area. Still Ryan Beled runs into traffic and loses possession, and Paris Saint-Germain win another free kick. You can see Beled just asking the referee about time. They still believe they can get something from this game. Sangare tried to play it inside the fullback for Kamara, but it's intercepted. Julio Diaz. Courrier. Well, the big diagonals aren't working out for either side, both giving the ball away fairly cheaply. Just beginning to get a little ragged as we push into the final quarter of the fixture. Bay again. And he did the cross out. Oh! How on earth did Kafi not get anything on that? He's ended up in the net. The ball hasn't. This is Kamara up against Huesco. Kamara to curl inside the box. Cleared away only as far as Courrier. Well, Kafi just completely missed his opportunity to fire him for, what, a yard? Didn't get any contact on it at all. Nzinga. With the powerful run forward and still going broad down edge of the area. Fernandez Torres eventually stopping the defender, claiming they didn't get a touch on it. Here it is again. Now positive run from Axel Tapkobrisa, ever present so far this season in the competition, made his debut last season. Made him with a couple of goals for the domestic under-19s. Similar type of angle, a little closer in to the goal that was the first of Sangare's treble. Sangare favoured again. He's going to take it again. Fine hit, but straight down the throat of Diego Diaz, who makes the save. Looking to launch the quick counter, but he's given it away. Here is Sangare again to break forward. It's still Mahamadou Sangare. Much better from Paris Saint-Germain. Oh, surely got to be a corner. Maybe just came back and skimmed off the PSG number 9. Here's the free kick again. Abouelne coming on. First alteration, and Umar Kamara is coming off. Going to see a change for Atleti as well here. Kafi, who missed that opportunity just a few moments ago, also being replaced. That is Camara. And the final two changes here for Atleti as well. Julio Diaz is coming off. Isa Munoz is on. And Sergio Esteban also coming on. Esteban, who scored against Leipzig in the 4-0 success back in September, and 7 for the under-19 domestic side this campaign. It's another free kick. Brian Beled was one of the players that came off incidentally for Sergio Esteban, with Elijah Lee, the other Paris Saint-Germain change, to come on. Diaby's got through an awful lot of work in that midfield area, the Paris Saint-Germain captain. Just getting a little bit of treatment, or might need some treatment here. Referee has struggled to contain this lot in the second half. It's been lively. Atleti players tested the patience of the match official on a couple of occasions. Castillo shaking his head a little, the Atleti captain. Diaby is okay to continue. Physios have been on fairly frequently in this second period, but the game has slowed down a little, and Paris Saint-Germain have just got themselves a little more organised after looking wide open in the opening 10 minutes of this second period. Looked like they were going to concede every single time that Atleti came forward. Atleti have had so many chances in this second half, but they've only taken one of them. And Paris Saint-Germain are still very comfortable at 4-1. We restart with a free kick for Paris. Westgall. Space for Omar Jana. Gonna have to really chase to keep that one in play. He's done well to do so. And get the cross in towards the far post. Information on screen of those late changes. Martin James is there. Munoz to go long. Esteban can't quite control. Paris have it once again. And Bay down the line. He's not been as effective in this second half, but he's got an opportunity to run at the Atleti backline here. And Bay goes for the near post. That was clever. Takes the deflection out for a corner. He looks a real prospect. A couple of assists in the first half. Rattles off the shins of Oscar Torres. Regular for the under-19s, the Spanish defender, but a debut in the UEFA Youth League today. Cross comes inside that 6-yard box, but it's cleared away. It was Ryan Aboene. Zinger's been solid. Another stoppage here. We can't quite see what's going on. Courrier is going to take the throw. Courrier loses out. It's going to be a free kick to Atleti. Well, the Paris Saint-Germain players are getting in the way here. Whether Esteban and Castillo have every right to shove them away, and they've got to wait for the referee to intervene. Castillo. Paris Saint-Germain have possession once again. And lose it all too easily. Fed through by Castrell Suarez. This is Nzinga. Courrier. And Bate is operating on the left-hand side now. 14 minutes remaining. Well, they scored very early on in this second half. You just sense that there might be something there for Atleti. Chances have come and gone. They haven't added to their scoreline. Saint-Germain remain to be dangerous on the break. Courrier does well. Mahamadou Sangare still driving forward. Nzinga, loose touch. Janet rolls the studs over the ball and gets a little bit lucky with a touch. Castillo tries to drive on. He's denied though. Well, both sets of players have really put a shift in here. Just a dozen minutes or so remaining. Diaz will collect. Second time of asking. Atleti just haven't stopped. Oesco loses possession. It's all a little lazy. Courrier. And Bate. Dances forward, loses possession, then gets it back again. The game has lost its shape completely here. Well, Atleti still trying to get players in good areas when they do have possession, but they've not got the momentum that they had in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Throw-in will be taken here by Paris Saint-Germain. It is a result that will see Paris Saint-Germain move up to 23rd in the table if it stays as it is. Obviously, one place shy of a route into the knockout stages. Not over yet. Esteban with a shot! And it will mean that Atleti will be just 2 places higher. They'll be separated by just a point. Two games to go. Certainly Atleti will still fancy their chances of making sure of a top 22 spot. Single-legged ties as well from the knockout stages as it was last season. Talked about the fact that Atleti are unbeaten domestically this season. Likewise, Real Madrid, who are 2 points above them, having won all 9 of their games. But both are struggling in the UEFA Youth League. Results haven't really gone Real Madrid's way. Just a couple of wins, but 2 defeats. Atleti are staring at a first defeat in the competition. Inter, maybe surprisingly, a team with a 100% winning record, 4 from 4. Italian sides traditionally in this competition haven't done particularly well. Omar Jana inside the penalty area, cleared away by El Hanesh. Salzburg, no real surprise to see them towards the top, and Sporting likewise. And Stuttgart, Barcelona, Atalanta round out the top 6, who will play the bottom 6 that qualify from the league phase. Another couple of changes here. Diaby coming off. Emmanuel Mbemba is coming on. And there is another change as well here. Potentially the fullback David Bolly has gone off, but I can't quite see just yet. David Bolly is the other player that's gone off. So Bolly and Diaby off. Abdou Fandrame and Emmanuel Mbemba have come on. Atleti with a long ball inside the penalty area. Matan James manages to collect. Abdou Fandrame has featured in every single game so far this season. This is the third start for him. So Elijah Leet chases that one down. Dakar-born player who's a Spanish citizen. Scored plenty of goals for the under-17s last term, 5. Esteban forward towards Janet, who has worked tirelessly throughout. Huesco. Sergio Esteban again, cleared away. And as far as Pan. Fernandez Torres. Gabriel Suarez looking to make space for the shot. Huesco. Six minutes remaining. Paris Saint-Germain lead by 4-1. All 4 goals in the first half. Opening 3 from Mahamadou Sangare. 3 very different goals. Close range tap in, a wonderful free kick and a penalty. Kamara from close range on the stroke of half time. Making it 4. This is Huesco with a shot. Fine save, and the follow-up is over from no more than 10 yards out from Sergio Esteban, who has to score from that sort of distance. Centre of the goal as well. Fine shot from Huesco. And Esteban just unable to get his knee over the ball there. Skied it. Centre of the goal. They'll look back and think, how many opportunities did we have here? Should have scored more than the one that they have, really. Sangare, it's a good turn. Fine block as well. Corner though. Attempts on goal for Atleti. Only 3 on target. Corner taken to the edge of the area. Maywood's waiting. Intercepted by Fernandez Torres, who goes again. Options through the middle. Munoz is one of them. Sergio Esteban is calling for it as well. Eventually the shot does come in, but it's wide. It takes another deflection. It's a corner. But they've been much better since the restarts, the scoreline suggests. But it will be a case of what might have been. Gabriel Castrell Suarez to take the corner, right-hand side towards that near post, flicked on and in, surely! Well, the initial flick from Pan looked to be goal-bound. Castillo made sure on the line from barely inches away. Atleti have got a second, 3 minutes remaining. The captain is claiming it. Really good save from Matan James initially. Pan at the near post. Fine save, and then, yeah, it just needed to be nodded home, didn't it? Because it actually ricocheted back out rather than in. Cleverly done from the captain. And a nervous 3 minutes, potentially, for Paris Saint-Germain. Fernandez Torres. Huesco keeps it in, everything to his left. Can he dig out the cross? It's towards Jana. Header was weak. Atleti have won it back. And a corner. Same side from which they scored just a minute or so back. And comes the delivery to the near post again. Matan James will punch away. Again the delivery, this time to the far post, over the head of Janet, to the edge of the area. Rajado loses out. PSG on the break. Still going forward. Bay calling for it inside the penalty area, cleared to the edge of the box. The shot fired wide. Well, the border's gone up for 6 minutes of added on time, but we haven't had the full 90 yet. See if we get the board again at the right time. Oh, really good run here from Castillo inside the penalty area. Surely has to go himself. He tries to pull it back. It's blocked. So 6 minutes now has gone up and announced. Time enough for two. Atleti will believe. They'll be able to curl in. It's towards Jana. Will it fall for him inside the penalty area? Eventually the shot straight at the keeper from Pan. But he scored from outside the area. Couldn't convert from around about 12. Follows up really well here. Just near the penalty spot. Castillo. Ambitious and just not hit enough. Atleti have it again. And they've won a free kick. It's another name that's been taken. And Hanash goes into the book. Four and a half minutes remaining of the added on 6. Driven in, flat trajectory. Final touch from a Paris Saint-Germain head. Another corner, another right-wing corner. Confirmation of the El Hanash yellow card. Well, a goal now, and the final 4 will be frantic. Gabriel Suarez. Header diverted wide. Well, they can be proud of the way that they have played in this second half, that is for sure. Just got away from him in the opening 45 minutes. And they powering forward, he deserves a goal, but he hasn't got one because Diaz makes the save. Still full of running in the 93rd minute of this fixture. Ibrahim Mbaye. Paris Saint-Germain just using up this time to slow things down a little. Mbaye is the player that's coming off, and Herman Diandaga is the player to come on. Wastes a few minutes. His part has been played, excellent from the get-go. He's dipped a little bit in the second half, but the vast majority of Paris Saint-Germain players haven't quite been as ambitious as they were in the first. They've had to defend in numbers, haven't had the chances. Atleti look like they're going to fall short by 2. Atleti have won it back. The referee lets it go. That's a good hit. Fine save, Martin James. Brilliant stop. Dipping effort, bound for the corner. Pushed away. Good hand on that. Gabriel Suarez to the far post. Claiming handball. Janet tries to force home. Here is Omar Janet again. Scores, he brought down, free kick. He might get a yellow card for this. Referee has let it go. Players just want to get on with it, given the game state. Fernandez Torres. Castillo. Again, the space over on the left-hand side. The cross is a little too high for everyone in Atleti colours, and the ball bounces out, and that might just be enough for Paris Saint-Germain to withstand a late scare from Atleti. They have never got to within a goal, but they know that they had to dig deep here. Tail of the tape, we'll see Atleti have more opportunities, more on target, but haven't taken their chances. And we're a little too loose defensively in the first 45. That's where the fixture got away from them. And these two teams will find themselves just a point apart heading into match day 5. Atleti have got the easier schedule from here on in. It is difficult for Paris Saint-Germain, but they've given themselves a chance here. Cheers from the Paris Saint-Germain supporters. A first half hat-trick from Mahamadou Sangare, one from Oumar Kamara. Enough for Paris Saint-Germain to build a strong lead. And although Atletico Madrid were much better in the second half, and there's a little fractiousness going on late on, and cards coming out as well, we don't really need to see it. Atleti were good in the second period. Pan a really good hit. Castillo a close range header. But they were too far apart. They didn't take the chances they needed to. And as the referee sorts out the melee on the pitch, we can tell you here, let's hope that this doesn't continue. The final score is Paris Saint-Germain 4, Atletico Madrid 2.